a few days ago, Ben Shapiro came out with a video on his channel, and it's kind of out of the realm of his regular video. He pretty much exposes Tucker Carlson for being a grifter, pretty much. He's inconsistent with his views. He's wishy-washy on what he says. And it's not very good for the conservative party, especially, you know, how we've seen the Democratic Party kind of just being taken over by communists. You know, I think that we should call out bad actors because we don't want that to happen to us. Because, like I said, like we saw with the Democratic Party, he talks about Nick Fuentes as you know him. The only reason why I know this guy is because he was on that rant with Kanye West about how great Hitler was. And he was on InfoWars with that mask on.
I like Hitler.
People are starting to wake up to it, though. A lot of people are disavowing, especially Officer Tatum. He went on a big rant about it.
When you platform somebody, bring somebody on your show and let them just dog out Jewish people, let them just dog out and say they support Stalin, I will never support you.
And it's good. Point out these people. These people need to be exposed. And also in the video, he talked about Candace Owens. And he briefly mentioned her, took a swipe at her. And obviously she responded, saying, I'm going to make a video response. He was also on the Megyn Kelly show today. And he totally annihilates all of them. Megyn Kelly tried pushing back on him a little bit. And he just like smacked her hand and said, nope, that's not right. That's not true. Facts over feelings. We're seeing the old Ben Shapiro that we know and love from back in the day when he got a gotcha moment on the liberals, but now he's doing it on conservatives who are defending Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens.
What a chance encounter that was. I think I just saw Ben Shapiro.
So if you don't think that Nick Fuentes is an Xbox Live gamer that just badmouths everybody and calls everybody the N-word, this should show you proof enough. This dude is literally the little Xbox gamer that screams, "Go kill yourself, you N-word!"
And it goes on. It goes on.
I mean, I would hate for people to believe that the Nick Fuentes sort of, my problems with Nick Fuentes are about me, because they really are not. They are about the fact that Nick Fuentes is a truly horrifying person who believes truly horrifying things. And again, there is a reason why Charlie Kirk despised him. There is a reason why every mainstream political commentator has been highly critical of him. It's the reason why these are not arguments. This is not a person who's making arguments. He is a Hitler-loving troll, and I say that advisedly. He literally says on his show that he loves Adolf Hitler. Okay, yep. So just the reason this has come up in recent weeks is because Tucker, your guest last night, decided to have him on last week and to completely gloss him, in my opinion. And you can make up your own opinion as to what you think Tucker was doing during that interview, but I know what it looks like when Tucker Carlson decides to be an aggressive interviewer, when he decides to ask difficult questions of people. Tucker is eminently capable of doing that, and he did it to Ted Cruz quite thoroughly. But he decided for any number of reasons, and I try not to attribute motivations to people, that he was going to treat Fuentes with kid gloves, that he was going to not ask him about any of the things that I've just mentioned, literally any of them, and to essentially normalize Fuentes, act as a sort of gateway drug, or as and what I've called Tucker as an ideological launderer of bad ideas over the last couple of years. And this is not coming from a place of animus for.
This is true because when he had Nick Fuentes on there, like I said in the beginning of the video, he's literally said this is Stalin's birthday or something, and he just laughed and said, "Oh, we'll get back to that." He didn't like question him. Why would you say something like that? You know how terrible his person was. You know, he didn't have no type of pushback, and Tucker Carlson is a guy that can literally ask tough questions, and he didn't for some weird reason. Why he had pretty much a white supremacist on the show.
I texted him. And the text exchange was very nice. I mean, here's what the actual text exchange went like after the call. So I texted him and I said, "Thanks so much for calling. It means the world. It truly does. Should we do a show together talking about the DSA threat, Democratic Socialists of America threat, and orienting in the same direction? Happy to do whatever it takes to bring everyone back together for the fight that matters." And Tucker then wrote back, "Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to spend the next week or two thinking about how to be most effective. The country is clearly on the brink." I reached out repeatedly after that. Nothing happened. And again, I thought it was a good idea at the time. I think I felt differently after I saw what he did with Nick Fuentes, and after he proceeded, in my opinion, to spend the subsequent weeks doing literally nothing to fight the left.
So that was a big issue too. A lot of people think that Tucker Carlson is just caving in. People are just paying him, which, some people do that. They just do it for the money. That's why we call them grifters. They just do it for the money. It's popular when Trump was running for president. A lot of people were behind Trump. He was getting this money to promote Trump, and he did it. Right after the elections, I'm just going to start talking about random stuff and just to make money. So it's very disingenuous, and it makes Tucker Carlson not look good. It does not paint him in the best light. From what I know, he hasn't responded to anything, and he refuses to talk to Ben Shapiro. So this clearly shows that maybe he just has a grudge against him.
It wasn't that he attacked you, or you had something.
No, I don't care about people attacking me,
interview.
and I don't think Tucker cares about people attacking him. I mean, again, we're professionals. We're in a business where people comment on what we say publicly. Again, this is why I think you and I differ on our angle with regard to, for example, Candace Owens. I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now is evil. It is evil what she is doing right now. Okay, and I say that again.
But what?
Because
I didn't opine on whether it's evil or not, but my position is it's really none of my business. And
why is it? But I have a question. Why is it none of your business? I mean, you comment on these things for a living.
I'm not mother of the internet.
No, but.
And I wanted to say real quick while he's talking, it's kind of like that with Officer Tate. He's calling out, Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes. He hasn't said anything about Candace Owens, which is sad. I think it's because they're friends and they're close. I don't know, man. Sometimes this is greater than friendship. This is a cause that's gonna change generations. Sometimes in life you just have to. Some people change for the worse, and you gotta let it go. So I hope Officer Tatum starts saying stuff about Candace Owens, because he always be hinting, but he never says her name. So,
but if this were on the left and somebody were accusing Charlie Kirk of his wife having murdered him, I assume that you would be talking about it.
Is that what Candace is accusing Erica of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of murdering her own husband?
She's accusing TPUSA insiders and other members of the right wing, including Seth Dillon, of being involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk. Yes.
It's crazy.
Like I said,
that's facts. She is literally saying that it was an inside job. That's why I'm saying she's going crazy. There's something, like I said, this is him finally saying something about Candace Owens ever since she departed from the Daily Wire. He hasn't said anything. He didn't say anything until today. So this is why everybody's tuned in. This is why this is trending right now, because he hasn't said anything about Candace Owens ever since she departed. She went on a rant about the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, all these people. But now he's starting to say something, and maybe they saw something inside that we didn't see until now, because maybe they saw her that she's going freaking crazy. If you like Candace Owens, I'm not going to knock you. That's cool. She has some good opinions and stuff. But what I've seen in the clips that are coming out, not manipulated, it is a raw footage of her saying some crazy stuff. And I don't know what it is, but I think the Daily Wire saw that, and that's why they let her go.
Like I said, I don't take in that content, which is an honest statement. I don't have time to watch Candace's show.
I believe you. But the point that I'm making is that
what I understand
friendship
Candace
should not, in our
doing.
business, I think it's important. Listen,
Candace
friendship
and I are
should not
friends.
trump.
We don't even know each other.
I understand, but even with Tucker, friendship should not trump our manifest requirement to speak out when people do and say things that are both detrimental to conservatism and morally wrong.
Okay, so I don't totally disagree, but I think the way of handling that, at least for me, is much different. So I saw things go south between you and Tucker, at least from my vantage point, when you disagreed on Israel. That was obvious. And he was, let me just make my point.
Sure.
And so
That a huge freaking bandwagon of Ben Shapiro haters. I'm not going to say names. There's some conservatives that were prominent at the time, and I made videos about them, and they were twins. Totally jumped on the Ben Shapiro hate bandwagon because it was kind of popular at the time. Everybody hated the Jews for some reason, so they hopped on that bandwagon. That's when I kind of started got shaky with some of these content creators. I'm like, that's just weird how they're hopping on the bandwagon. Ben Shapiro literally led the way of conservatism. He's one of the big talking heads, and going against him kind of makes you look like a drifter.
So here's what Tucker Carlson wrote in his newsletter today, or what his newsletter says under his name. He said, "Is the incoming mayor a fan of Israel? Does he want America to fight its wars? Not particularly. But a Jew hater? That's a different conversation. We've never seen anything to suggest he falls into that ugly camp. If we're talking about fighting the left, defending Zohar Mamdani, who literally said that Hamas, he has no opinion whether Hamas should disarm, who posed alongside the 1993 World Trade Center unindicted co-conspirator, who would not disown globalize the Intifada, who suggested that whenever there is a New York Police Department boot on somebody's neck, it's an IDF lacing the strings, to suggest that that's not anti-Semitic in any way, no way.
Okay, but listen.
Or
I'm going to give you a defense of Tucker here, and I don't need to defend Tucker because I'm not Tucker.
Tucker can
But
perfectly
I'll
well
just
defend
say,
himself.
I think in general, because I know him and I listen to him and I understand generally where he's coming from. He would say his problems are with Israel, and he would say that shot that Mamdani laid against the IDF is a shot against the IDF and Israel, and how he thinks they're pro-war.
So Ben's right. Tucker Carlson's getting paid. I don't know about you guys. I think he's really getting paid. In my conspiracy theory about this, I think he's getting paid. He was getting paid by Iran. He's getting paid by socialists as well. I really think he's getting paid. That's just my humble opinion about it. If you don't think so, that's fine. That's fine. It's whatever. If you walked into a foreign country and saw dummies of American soldiers getting shot at, what would that mean to you? Oh, they just hate American soldiers? No, you would think they hate America, right? Americans. So that argument's pretty weak in itself to defend Tucker Carlson with that logic. If you went anywhere else and they were shooting at dummies with other foreign militaries, you would automatically assume, boom, that's the enemy. Whoever's there is the enemy. You wouldn't think, oh, just the soldiers by itself. No, there's no defending it. She just made a weak argument for Tucker Carlson. So somebody recorded this part. I don't know if it's on the whole show, but this is a part where somebody recorded this part. So go ahead and watch it.
That if I see somebody breach basic moral values by having on a Nazi, and in my own view, take your own view, in my own view, gloss the Nazi, that if I see somebody breach basic moral values by having on a Nazi, and in my own view, take your own view, in my own view, gloss the Nazi, then I'm going to speak out about that, and I'm going to point out that there is a long pattern of him ideologically laundering terrible ideas over the course of the last 2 years, ranging from traveling to Russia to sniff the bread and explain why the Russian regime is actually wonderful.
If you don't remember, he went to go interview Vladimir Putin, I think it was 2 years ago when the war was going on and stuff, and he was like saying, Russia's a good place. Look at this. Look at this wonderful place I'm in. There's not a bunch of homeless people, and we should be more like Russia. Pretty much he said that. But in actuality, that's just a nice rich part of Russia. Go down the street, and there's poverty everywhere. It's like that in every dictator country. Just like frickin' North Korea. There's nice parts of North Korea, and then there's really bad parts.
Two, saying last week, the Venezuelan regime of Nicolas Maduro is actually not that bad because they're being attacked by, in his words, globo homo.
Tucker's made the point, I'm not going to here to be Tucker's defender, but he's made the point that Maduro is culturally conservative.
Who gives a shit? The guy's a communist.
So is the Middle East? The Middle East is mostly conservative. They're against gay marriage. They're against all that. But we don't align with them. They have horrible policies, horrible beliefs. Just because we agree on one thing doesn't mean the whole entire thing is okay. And I'm glad Ben Shapiro's putting his foot down, bruh. Like this is the Ben Shapiro that we all know and love. This dude doesn't give a crap about your feelings. He will just spit facts. So I thought this was interesting that he went on the show. We'll see what happens. I hope that they have a debate one day, and I'll totally cover it. So what do you guys think about this? Go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Go ahead and like the video if you liked it. Go ahead and subscribe if you're new. And go ahead and hype up this video, guys. Let people see this video. And Ben Shapiro was cooking. Don't mess with the oven because you're going to get burnt. And I'll see you guys in the next video.